Ah, hell, here we go again. Oh, my God. It didn't take long. Right after the Derek Chauvin trial, they found a new one. And this one's nuttier than any of them. You're going to see a police officer arrive at the scene of chaos. And you're going to see the police officer react very justifiably. And then you're going to see the reaction. And it's going to tell you a lot about what our problem is in this country. Hello out there. I am trying to get through.
With his powerful brainwaves cradled in the warmth of reasoning, it's time for Johnnie Walker Dread to straighten you out on a thing or two. Emanating all the way from exciting Las Vegas, Oklahoma, it's the Johnnie Walker Dread Show.
Well, I'm trying to get through, but obviously I'm not doing a very good job of it. Here we go. This is Columbus, Ohio, and I'm sure you've heard about it.
Arriving at 3171 Legion Lane on...
Listen. As soon as he opens the door and you hear it, the incredible shouting that's going on. Now, when the police officer arrives, that's going to change, right? Well, we'll see.
Hey! What's going on? Hey, what's going on? Hey! Hey!
Now, here's the part that doesn't jive with me. Yeah, I've been involved in some scraps when I was a kid. There were hostilities, some punches thrown. But when the cops arrived, we were all like, ah, shit. Because the first thing we thought about was, am I going to go to jail? And so everything quieted down. And each of us looked nervously at each other like, which one of us is going to end up riding in the back of the cop car? Because when the cops arrived, it all got real serious. This was the authority showing up, and they had power. And so we took that very seriously. But look what happens.
Hey! 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 Get down! Get down!
Now look over here. There's a man trying to kick this girl or woman, I don't know, in the head with the cops there. What the hell? The cops are there. And the hostilities don't end. They just keep fighting. Now you're going to see the heavy-set girl here on the left. And also there's one girl that's dressed in pink. You'll see what happens. Now I know you probably have seen this and you don't need my narrative. But I just want to point out a few things. By the way, a kick in the head could be interpreted as attempted murder. Certainly a violent assault. And I think that is a girl, so he might be assaulting a minor. Not sure.
Get down! Get...
Okay, right here. You see it. Right there. The girl on the black top has a knife. And she's going to try to knife the girl in the pink. The officer is going to pull out his gun, and he's going to land some shots within a very short time frame.
Get down!
Down she goes. And the shouting just continues. I mean, one thing that's also kind of odd here is that if there would have been a shooting that we were involved in, we would all have been just like stone-faced, like, oh God, the cops just shot someone. And the enormity of it all would have descended on us, and we would have just been fixated. But these guys just keep running their mouths off as if they're trying to win an argument. A person has been shot. She's laying on the ground. Shut your asshole mouth. The shouting is not helping. And again, the cops were there, and she pulls a knife and tries to stab another girl with the cops there. Again, there's no respect here for law and authority. The cops are there. That should have settled everything at that point. Person says, are you kidding? No, he's not kidding. I didn't do anything. Well, you probably did. But who cares? If you're not the girl on the ground, no one's asking you what you did. They might ask you later, but right now, no. And it's just this cacophony of yelling and hollering. Right now, their job is to help the person they shot. Their job is not to listen to you holler at them. They don't give a damn what you have to say, nor should they.
Back up.
Is she shot?
She had a knife. She just went at her.
She's a fucking kid.
Yeah, she's a kid who had a knife, who went after her. There's this feeling out there somehow that a 15-year-old is harmless. It's not true. You look at your gang makeups, your street gangs, a large number of the real atrocities are carried out by the youngest members. And the reason why they're so dangerous is because they don't see around corners. They don't see ahead in the future of a long prison sentence or anything like that. So they can be really vicious. A 15-year-old can stab you to death just as well as a 20-year-old can. And the reason why is a knife does not require a lot of force, because if its cross-sectional area is so small, the pressure is incredible. And that's what allows it to penetrate the body. Don't have to be strong to knife somebody to death. Are you stupid? No, that's not Jeopardy here. She's a kid. She's a kid. Well, what was that kid doing out here fighting? Now, I understand that there may be an argument that the one on the ground is the one that called 911. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who called 911 in the first place. What's she doing out there? And most importantly, when the police arrived, why did she take action? The police are there. If she called 911 for the police to be there, then why did she do this when they arrived?
All right, what do you need me to do? What do you need me to do? What do you need me to do?
Okay, if I was that officer there, I think that's an officer. I don't believe that's EMS. I think that's an officer. I would tell him, I think you need to go into your squad car and just get away from here. We have the situation completely under control at this point, and we're afraid that you might actually come up against people who might be trying to take revenge on this. You need to get away from here, get in your squad car, and relax as much as you can.
Try to pull her. All right. All right, what do you need? You need to pull her down? This way. We're out this way.
I admire the officer for focusing on the victim here. Victim? No, okay. The shootee, while pushing all of that crazy noise out. He's focusing, and that's good. Again, I don't think he even should be there, though. I think that the person in charge should tell him to get back into his car, but that's okay.
All right. Hold on. I'll take this. 200.
I don't think I would have thrown the knife there. I think that's too close to where those people are. I think I would have probably set it aside closer to me, but nothing happened, so we're okay.
She came at her with a knife.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how old she is. You got to get off that. Doesn't matter if she's 15 or 20. Now, if she would have been 3 years old, okay. Or maybe 9, maybe. 15? Oh, man, a 15-year-old can kill you. Absolutely.
She charged her when she came at her with a knife.
Now, if I was the officer in charge here, I would have told him, don't argue with the people outside there. You've said your piece. And I have no problem with him turning initially to the person and saying, hey, she charged him with a knife. okay? But at this point here, he's starting to argue with the people on the outside perimeter. It's just not a good idea. But I get it. He's probably a little bit worried. He's probably thinking, oh, man, I'm going to be making the news. I'm going to lose my job. I might even go to prison for this. And so I can see him wanting to argue his piece, but you got to let your lawyers do that. Now it's because she was a girl.
Now she's dead for what? You just got over this shit.
She's dead because she attacked somebody else with a knife. That's for what? Don't make it sound like as if this was completely senseless. There's a reason why he opened fire on her. Everybody knows it.
You're gonna shoot her for nothing? I shot a fucking kid.
Come on. She came at her with the knife. Don't argue with her. All right. Hey.
Again, you're not going to win this argument with them. There's no point in arguing, but I get it.
All right. Somebody get the apple. Right there, my kid.
All right.
You're gonna shoot a girl. She ain't coming.
Yeah, the girl in the pink is probably not real innocent in this, but that's neither here nor there at this point.
Come on, stay with us. Come on. Keep that knife close.
Hold on. Back up.
She did not come with no knife.
The knife's right here.
I see the knife, but she didn't come at you with the.
She didn't come at you with the knife. Doesn't matter. And that's the most mind-boggling comment I have seen so far, is that he didn't have to open fire because the girl wasn't attacking him. Do they not know that police can use lethal force to prevent one person from killing another? Again, civics education should be a little bit more important now in the future.
She came at them.
She came at you. So that gives you a reason to shoot.
Back up.
Stay with me. What's her name?
What's her name?
What's her name?
What's her name? Ma'Khia.
Stay with us, Ma'Khia. Come on. Stay with us, Ma'Khia. Come on.
I need this scene secured. All right.
Y'all just stay.
I will say this police officer is really holding his cool well. That's pretty impressive. I don't think he should be arguing with people, but I'm going to go ahead and give him a little bit of leeway there. But he's taking charge here. He's doing what he's supposed to be doing. I don't think I would have him here on scene, but whatever.
What's up? What's up? Medic rolling? Yeah, I should have a medic rolling, yes.
And now we have a looky-loo and some SUV driving by. Get the hell out of there.
Come on, stay with him, Ma'Khia. Come on.
My apologies. It looks like they live there, so I can understand why they slowed down. I think they're trying to figure out how to park. Okay, my apologies.
Come on, hang with us. Shot her. You just got out the car and shot her. I watched the whole.
She charged her.
All right, don't talk to him. Don't talk to him.
All right.
Yeah, don't talk to him. Don't talk to him. Good advice. At that point, you've said what you needed to say, and there's no point in continuing on this conversation. Frankly, it would have been better if he hadn't said anything, although I think that maybe a lawyer could say, well, explaining to the crowd initially why you opened fire might have been a good thing, but I don't know. Maybe a lawyer can tell me, but frankly, I always think that the less said, the better.
Come on, Ma'Khia. Come on, Ma'Khia. You ain't, she's dead. Come on, Ma'Khia. Stay with us. Stay with us. Come on.
Put your leg up. Come on, Ma'Khia. You just jumped out there with the and shot her. I watched the whole thing.
Back him up. Hey, back everybody up. Come on, Ma'Khia. Stay with us. Come on. Stay with us. Come on. Come on. Stay with us, Ma'Khia. Come on. Come on.
Are you all right? I got it.
Okay, so they're leading the cop away, and they're going to have a little talk with him, make sure he's okay. Good move.
Shooting. It's going to be 3171 Legion Lane. Officers are okay.
is in this car, so you might want to take him over there.
All right.
We're gonna come over here.
They appreciate the stress he's under. They were going to take him over one place. I can't quite make out why they decided to take him somewhere else, but whatever the case is, they're doing some good work here to ensure that the officer himself is going to be handling this emotionally, and so he can recover from this event. He seems to be fine. I haven't seen any sense of real stress in him, but you can never tell. And so what they're doing here is a good thing.
All right.
Are you hit?
No, she charged the other person with a knife.
We'll figure it out.
And she kept charging her with a knife.
We'll figure it out.
All right.
So he starts to say his piece about why he opened fire. And so this is a really common reaction to high stress. He wants to tell his story, okay? And of course, that can get him in a little bit of trouble. A lot of people get unfairly convicted because they start to run their mouths off and they say things that later incriminate them that may not even be true. And this dude is saying, okay, we'll take care of it. In other words, be quiet, man. Just keep your mouth shut. You've already told your side of the story, and we have body cam footage. We'll work it out later. A few things that stick out here. For one, if you'll notice, the parents are there, but they're not dragging their kids away from the action. They're getting involved. They're mixing it up. And that is something that is reprehensible. When you have your kids out there fighting, you grab them by the ear and you pull them the hell away from there. Under no circumstances do you get involved in the fights. And yet here they are, scrapping it out. That really bothers me. Just a poor showing of how to be a responsible parent. There's this huge emphasis on winning the fight at all costs. Whatever it is that they're fighting over, I can almost guarantee you that it's not worth this. Kicking some girl in the head over what? What was it that would cause you to do something like that? Did she look at you funny like? Say something bad about you? What was this about? Another thing is, if your girl gets shot and she's laying on the ground, don't be arguing with the police. Your concern should be about your girl. I mean, if it was one of my kids, I'd be going bonkers. And I'd be pleading with those people that are working on her to save her life. I wouldn't be arguing with the cop that shot her. This is where things get so political that you can only use your own kids for political arguments. After the shooting, the mother's got a picture of her kid. She's parading it around, talking in front of the microphone. I wouldn't be able to speak for days, but it doesn't seem to bother them. I don't get really the feeling that there's any family love here at all. Any love they express is all done for political gain because it sounds good in a microphone. The incessant shouting, a complete lack of ability to control one's emotions that seems to be permeating these situations nowadays, and a complete lack of respect for law and order. I'm not saying you have to like the cops, but when they show up on the scene, you should be thinking to yourself, oh hell, this isn't good. I'd better behave. But they don't. They don't even care if the cops are there. That one girl pulled a knife, tried to stab the other one. Cops were right there. She doesn't care. I have no idea what's going on, but it's bad. I will follow this up with a little bit of a Twitter thread review. It's pretty bad out there. Some of the arguments being proposed are so preposterous, and they kind of show complete inability for anybody to take responsibility for their actions. It's always somebody else's fault. And with Black Lives Matter, you know who that person is. Like my video and subscribe to my channel.